I look at what Rodney did. You know, he's an educated person.
Yeah.
He you know, I was in classrooms that he was in when we were invited in to be on a panel or something, who said to kids, you know, you need to get an education. You can get an education and stay here. You can get an education and go away. You can get an education, go away, and come back. But they'll never take that away from you. So he was a very strong supporter.
Advocate. Oh, yeah.
And so you kind of watch it come and go. You know, I mean, even with the national election coming up, you know, some things within the Obama administration have limited Pell Grants and whatever. But when you hear Romney's thing to say, I want to do away with Pell Grants, you know, it sends shockwaves through. Yeah. And so you hear, you know, students are coming in saying, you know, and so I said, what is your responsibility then as a citizen? So it kind of it's like an ebb and a flow. It depends.
Depends on the leadership.
It does depend on the leadership.
I mean, so that will change if you send more graduate to the community. The council will change, I hope.
Yeah.
But at this moment, past 20 years, I've been coming that you know some councilmen extremely uneducated.
Exactly.
And new president too.
Yeah.
I hear.
Yeah.
But why people choose those people?
I don't know. I think they're discouraged with maybe how things are in their own life, so they think it can't get any worse, so I'm going to vote in a different way, or I'm not going to vote because I don't make a difference. We've not done a lot on the reservation lately with voter registration, voter registration, voter education, to help people make good decisions, you know, to say here are the issues, and, you know, how do you read and decide what people are saying? Is that in your best interest? Is that going to be in the best interest of your family? And is that going to be for the next generation? So we don't have a lot of voter registration education that I'm aware of.
Okay.
And so people just kind of either are apathetic about it, I'm not going to bother to vote, not going to register to vote, or, yeah.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, but we have to finish our interview in hope. so
yes, we do end with hope. And there is hope. There's always hope.
Of course, education. Perhaps the education is the strongest factor changing the community.
Exactly.
That's the point. That's the direction I'm going. That's why I'm doing research, you know.
Yeah.
This reviving the community.
Yeah. It has to be through education.
Engine of change.
Yes.
It's education, and particularly higher education, as you do.
Get more people. More people.
More people. 800 is not enough, huh?
800 is not enough. It'll never be enough. Yep.
Hey, which teacher do you like the most, respect the most among Shinte faculty? Personally, this is a personal question, but...
Albert Whitehat. I love that person. You know, as a personal, you know, as somebody I could, when I came here, that I could go to and say, gee, Albert, you know, he always gave hope. He never let you whine around. He always helped you see what some solutions were. He's done so much, you know, for the people, for this institution. I just have a tremendous amount of respect for him. Ollie, I miss her dearly. You know, she
taught language, right?
She did. She taught for us as an adjunct faculty person too. I mean, she taught quilting, but while she sat in here and the people were learning how to sew, she told stories. She talked about respect. She talked about kinship. She talked about all those things. So professionally, she was a great role model for me. Personally, you know, she took me under her wing, and
but you know, I visited her house a couple of times. Okay, but sad thing was when she was dying, not many people coming to see her.
Not many.
I mean, is that a sad thing?
It was very sad.
Where's the tradition? You mean,
exactly.
I mean, sometimes I feel so bad about this.
I know.
You know, there's a lot of advocate of this culture and tradition, but you know, like nice person like her,
I know,
dying in loneliness.
I know.
Why could that happen?
You know, I went to the hospital probably every other night,
Yeah.
out of selfishness for myself,
Yeah.
because I just needed to be with her and
Yeah,
near
yeah,
her.
yeah.
Was going to Spearfish when my granddaughter was born. I stopped in to see Ollie that morning. I said, "Gee, Ollie is driving over here, saw an eagle." She said, "Oh, it's going to be a good day." She prayed with me. When you get done, when baby's born, you need to come back here.
Which hospital was she at?
And Rosebud then. She died
okay.
there. Yeah, I was there when she passed. I
Oh,
mean, I was so fortunate to be, she always said, "I really want to adopt you as a daughter, but you have a mom. You're not an orphan, and so I can't do that." But, in her heart of hearts, she kind of considered me that. And
That daughter. I'm glad you are with her. Because I feel so awful. This summer, that summer I came, I heard Nellie dead, and she was very lonely.
Yeah.
Around the time,
I know. She couldn't get out. People didn't come that much, to see her. I mean, one night she called and she said, "I made skillet bread and nobody's here." And I'm like, and it was kind of a really bad night, and it was a night I couldn't get away. I just cried.
Yeah.
I thought about my own grandma who lived, up there. She used to bake.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Grandma, what are you baking all these cookies for?" And she said, "So the kids will come."
I know, but how could these Lakota people?
I don't know. I don't know.
See, I'm staying at Salt Camp.
Okay.
And two sisters was visiting them. Well, actually, the Salt Camp people invited two sisters who worked in St. Francis 50 years.
Wow.
Okay, got fired by this priest. I don't know.
Yeah.
Got hatchet or something.
Yeah, hatcher.
Okay, but they came back. This is what I heard. They came. Sister didn't tell me, but Charlie told me that they came back. They are like late 70s, early 80s. Maybe this might be the last occasion that they can visit Lakota people. And those Lakota people who associate with them closely at that time, they visited their house. They did not even let them in, standing at the door. And I'm sorry to tell all this, but really, they talk about generosity.
I know.
And they talk about, I had a big giveaway because I always want to reciprocate the thing I learned.
Right.
Okay, that's my attitude. So, but come to this part of the country,
Yeah.
How many family offered even the water when I visited them? They talk about generosity. I don't think they are generous people at all. I mean, excuse me.
No, I know. I mean, that's the other thing Albert says. You've got to walk the talk.
Yeah,
Walking the talk is easy. Walking the walk is really difficult. So that'll separate people from there, and that's what I see him doing. His health is. I worry so about him.
Oh, I'm so too. I gave him to Japanese Guardian. Last time I came, his cancer came back, right?
Yeah.
And I saw him day before yesterday, and because my students are taking his class, okay. So I went to it and greeted him, and he told me that he started chemo again.
Yeah.
That means that cancer came back.
Yeah. And his heart is so. I guess I see in him what I watched my mom with that congestive heart failure walk 4 steps, have to stop, get a breath. When he did his prayers the other day, he was like, you could just hear it. And I'm just thinking, is it just because it's so near to my heart now, losing my mom and hearing that I'm extra worried about him? But, we have a lot of really great people, but...
they're gone. Don Moccasin's gone.
Yeah. And I'm just like, how do we carry on so they're never gone? How do we carry on? So I almost every one of my classes, I said, students, if you're in 5 of my classes, you're going to hear this 5 times. But I always said to Ollie, I can't do this job. I don't know anything about teaching college. I don't know this. And she said, you're responsible for your students, but you're a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be teachers. You have to look beyond your students to all those generations, all those kids that they're going to be teaching.
Yeah.
So it's serious business. I said, people know, and it's like, I worry about taking your class. They say they're so hard, and I always tell that story.
Yeah,
You know, I said, I'm responsible for 10 of you here. But if for 10 years you each work with 20 kids, think of that. And then you add all those together. You know,
Exactly, yes.
I'm
multiplies, you know.
I'm not the only person, but I have to know in my heart I gave it everything I had every single day.
Right.
Because that's Ollie's. That's what
all
Ollie
this.
said.
So you're
Everything
quite
you do.
fortunate that you have those
was I ever
real good Lakota
really
people.
good Lakota people.
Real good Lakota
Not
people.
the wannabes, though. You know, the real honest.
Honest people.
Yeah,
Which is very rare.
it is very rare.
I feel so. Experience of 20 years here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how come in 20 years we haven't even gotten
They got
to
know you because I was stuck in Lakota studies.
Okay. Nobody sends you here for education.
Nobody sends you. Because I got to know Deb, you know.
Yeah.
Because I started the researching about education. That's finally I came to see you.
Wow.
I should have done it much earlier.
Yeah, you should
but
have. We still got time.
we still got time. I come
Yeah.
here every summer
That's
anyway.
great.
Yeah. So
That's
I have to
really
interview
great.
again.
Good.
After I have to finish this, and
Hi,
maybe
Maurice.
if I come up with some other questions or
Call
some
me.
other thing,
How long are you going to be here?
until next weekend.
Okay. We'll come
So I
by
will
next
call.
weekend.
Yeah, I will
We'll
come.
see each other.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the time. You are late. I'm sorry.
No, I'll sign and I'll run.
Yeah, right.
He'll be standing there in the hot.
Sorry.
No problem.